뭔가 나온지 오래돼서 뭔가 후속작이 뭐라도 하나 나올 것 같은 게임이긴 한데. 성벽으로 돌격하시오. 가자. 어택. 먼저 가라 얘들아. 뭐야 뭐야 갑자기 죽어. 뭐야 왜 갑자기 살아. 뭐야 왜 갑자기 뜬금없이 쓰러져. 먼저 올라가. 먼저 올라가. 뭐야 왜 안 올라가. 올라가. 뭐야 갑자기 쓰러져. 얘도 화살도 안 맞았는데 미친놈들아. 야 너희들 왜 쓰러져 갑자기. 올라가 얼른. 그래 올라가. 난 맨 나중에 갈 거다. 내가 이쪽 타고 가면 되겠다. 어떻게 타고 가지 이거? 씨발. 아니 갔다가 화살도 안 맞았는데 갑자기 쓰러져. 깜짝 놀랐네. 아이고. 야 빨리. 얍. 내가 왔다. 헬리가 왔다. 물론 나는 쩔을 받겠지만 쩔 받죠. 뒤를 노립니다. 이렇게 한 대씩 때려주면 돼. 그냥 애들한테 어그로 걸려서 한 대씩 때려주면 돼. 쉽죠? 준토가 참 쉬운 게임이야 이 게임이. 다구리엔 장사가 없다고. 다구리엔 장사가 없는 법이지. 뭐 어디로 가는 거야? 이야. 와. 그래 성벽을 부숴버려. 이야. 이 씨발 존나 많은데? 야 빨리 와라 이 씨발. 잠깐만 어딨어 애들. 왜 이거밖에 없어. 씨발 잠깐만 미안합니다. 나 이렇게 뒤에서 깔짝깔짝 막타만 먹어주면 됩니다. 이게 단체 전투의 묘미겠지? 나한테 어그로 안 끌리는 애들 조지면 돼. 오케이 됐다. 절대 정정하고 당당하게 싸우지 않아요 저는. 오케이 다 잡았나? 끝났다. 뭐야 씨발 더 오네. 씨 왜 이렇게 많아. 몇 명이서 싸워야 돼 이거. 빠져. 씨발. 야 근데 공격이 잘 안 나가 이거. 미친놈아. 오케이. 근데 이거 좀 단체 전투는 엉성하다 게임이. 다대다 전투는 좀 엉성하네. 전쟁은 좀 엉성하게 만들었네 게임이. 아니 3명이서 몇 마리를 잡은 거야 도대체. 좀 1대1은 잘 만들었는데 다대다 전투는 좀 엉성하네요. 어디까지 들어가? 이제 성문을 여는 건가요 얘네들이? 나를 싸우고 있네. 많네 아직도. 죽어. 아 존나 많아 미친놈들이. 우리 편 때렸던 것 같은데 방금. 기분 나니까. 아 미안합니다. 활력폭이 올랐네 또. 포크 찍어야 되는데 생각해보니까. 오 씨발 나 때리지마. 나 때리지마. 아 그만 죽어 이 미친놈들아. 그만 죽어. 오 레벨 4 올랐다. 저기만 보네 이제. 저기만 뚫으면 끝나네.
Sir, we should give the order.
Let's see if Istvan Toth can worm his way out of this one.
Don't tempt fate, Hanush.
Istvan! It's over! You want us to come and get you?
I wouldn't advise that. Your friend Divish wants to see his wife alive again.
And Sir Radzig? Are both hostages unharmed?
For now, Hanush, unless circumstances change.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. My guest is also safe and sound, but he's also quite keen to go home. I imagine you feel the same way. It's been a long time since you warmed yourself at your own hearth.
I'm in no hurry. I've plenty of supplies here, grand view and excellent company. What more could I want?
Your freedom!
Freedom? Freedom to get an arrow in the back?
Sir, we're all noblemen here.
와 저 새끼 살려준다고 설마?
I give you my word as a knight and lord, and that of my companions. If you release Lady Stephanie and Sir Radzig, you may leave the castle with your men and go on your way.
아니겠지? 죽이겠지? 살려줘?
And just how far will we get? What good will it do me if your men attack us in the woods instead of here?
If you give me your word of honor that you will leave and never return, I promise you safe passage to the boundary of this fiefdom.
안 돼,
What happens
미친놈아.
after that is up to you and the will of God Almighty.
Very well then, but I want a small safeguard. I'll give you her ladyship, but Radzig comes with me. I'll release him in Skalitz.
Out of the question! Is our word not good enough for you?
Is mine not good enough for you? I swear I'll release him when I get to a safe distance.
I'll go with him, Hanush. Let the Lady Stephanie have her freedom now.
Father!
Don't worry, son. I trust Lord Toth's self-interest more than his word. He wouldn't be fool enough to harm me.
If you're certain, Radzig.
Prepare horses and supplies, and tell your men to pull back. We'll come down.
아.
You heard him. Get to work.
야, 오늘 엔딩 맞아?
And any
이거
man
오늘
who
엔딩 볼 수 있는 거
breaks his
맞아?
truth answers to me.
So, are you really going to let them go?
My word is my bond.
아, 이 미친놈아. 오늘 엔딩해야 돼.
Good men are dead because of him. What's to stop us from skewering him as soon as he
그래,
sets foot
죽여야 돼
outside?
오늘 쟤를. 오늘 엔딩을 봐야
If you let him
된다고.
go, he'll do the same again. Or worse.
God's justice will find him. Then,
아,
taste of my mace.
If we break our word of honor, we have none. And without honor, we are nothing. Never fear. Your father will be all right.
아니 파더가 무사할 필요는 없어. 그냥 쟤를 죽여야 돼 나는. 파더가 무사할 필요는 없다고. 아버지가 굳이 무사하지 않아도 돼. 나는 엔딩을 봐야 된다고 오늘. 아니 이것도 엔딩 못 보겠는데?
Bring the horses.
아 엔딩.
Here she is, as I promised. Not a hair on her head harmed.
vindictive.
아 극혐이다. 짜리 저 여자를 죽여버리지 그냥. 아 극혐이다 진짜.
I'm sorry
For what?
for letting them into the castle.
그래 죽여야지.
You're not to blame.
아
I didn't
극혐.
know who he was. He said he was your friend.
Never mind.
멍청한 년을 죽여버려야 되는데.
No.
I hope your word can be trusted.
Certainly more than yours.
If everything goes as agreed, I'll set Radzig free in Skalitz. If anyone tries to follow us, I'll kill him.
We won't.
My apologies for keeping you from your father, but you'll see each other soon enough.
아 죽을 것 같은데?
Oh, I almost forgot.
아 칼.
Your sword. I expect you'll want it back after all the trouble you went to. Actually, you know what? I think I'll keep it as a memento.
This isn't over. I'll find you.
I look forward to it. Yeah!
야. 아, 쟤 또 언제 잡아?
Quick! To the battlements! We have to see which way they go!
뭐 스칼리츠로 가겠지.
Oh, they really are heading for Skalitz. Mount up, Henry. You've heard what he'll do if we follow them. We're not going to follow them. We just have to collect your father. Or do you want him to walk back here when they release him?
어, 똑똑하네. 아, 쟤 죽어야 엔딩 아닌가요, 혹시? 쟤 잡아야 엔딩인데. 잠깐만. 이거 먹어, 이거. 됐다. 아, 오늘 엔딩 못 보겠다. 얜 여기서 뭐하냐? 야, 넌 여기서 뭐하냐, 병신아. 씨발. 아, 저기서 뭐해, 쟤는? 아, 오늘 엔딩 보기 글렀네. 아, 죽이고 끝나야지. 미친 게임아.
What will you do now?
Not long ago, I only made plans 3 days ahead at most.
자랑이다.
Maybe I really could do something for Rattay and its people. Something really...
빨리 좀 가. 애매한 속도로 가네.
Ah, there'll be plenty of time for that later.
나 먼저 간다. 아, 쭉 가면 되나 그냥? 어디까지 가야 돼 이거? 어디까지 가야 돼? 됐나?
There's no sign of them. Move on.
말소리 존나 크네. 와, 그래픽은 진짜 좋네.
I'm glad to see Ishban kept his word, sir.
Not half as glad as I am, Your Grace.
Well, we kept our word too. And now Toth has had his head start and he's fair game. Which way do they go?
To the north, but I would be careful, Sir Hans.
Fear not, Your Grace. I have twice as many men as he.
야, 갖고
I
죽여버려.
won't keep you any longer. I'm sure the two of you have a lot to say to each other. Let's go!
설마 얘도 잡혀서 인질되나? 아,
You all right, Father?
I am. They treated me quite decently. Although they did steal my horse, so I'll have to go back on foot.
오, 그래픽 이쁜 것 봐.
It looks like it's all over.
Not by a long shot. It won't be over until we get this mess cleared up.
And catch that bastard. How could we let him go?
Would you rather we killed him? Even if it meant Lady Stephanie and I
네,
died too?
Of
네.
course not. But what was to stop
죽였으면
us from killing him
좋겠어요.
after the exchange?
Honor?
Honor.
If the word of honor of a nobleman could not be trusted, then he would never have agreed to the exchange.
And where's the honor in abandoning your son?
You know how it is. We were young. It happened. And I couldn't marry a commoner. Then your father, Martin, came along and took care of both of you.
He knew it.
What? That I was your father? Certainly. He was a great man. He took you as his own. And always kept an eye on you.
그래, 마틴이 착한 사람이네.
That you can be sure.
I know so little about his past.
He told you nothing. Oddly enough, even though you don't have his blood, you're very like him. When he was around your age, he became bored of his trade and set out to see the world. He lived through many adventures, even fought in a war.
In a war?
Yes, in Poland, I believe. And I don't think he cared much for it.
That's why he wanted me to stay at home.
He spent some time in Prague, then settled in Kuttenberg. But it seems he quarreled with someone there and finally ended up here. You know the rest.
I loved him, but even so, I somehow always had a feeling I didn't quite fit in.
It was in your blood, I suppose.
I lost the one thing I had left from him.
찾으러
Your
가야지.
sword.
Ah, the sword. It's not my sword. It's yours. For a moment there, it was so near, yet so far. Oh, well, it can't be helped.
It was almost within my grasp, but just then I had something else on my mind.
Well, I think we may yet have a chance to get it back. This business with Toth is not yet over, unfortunately.
That's a chance I'd welcome. Not just to get the sword, but that bastard Istvan too. And then I'll find that German whoreson who torched Skalitz, and I'll slay him with it. I'll never forget his face.
나름 그래도 남자다워졌다, 헨리가.
Mark Vart von Aulitz.
그 처음 나온 대머리 새끼인가?
It was a noble intention, son. But don't forget there are other things in this world that are worth living for.
Like what?
Look around you. Blue skies overhead, green grass underfoot, beautiful girls. Good wine.
아, 복수
a few
포기하고
good
살아라
friends and
이거네.
a fine steed under your backside.
복수 포기하라
Those are
이거네.
things worth living for. Though I can't deny that swine who killed your mother must pay for what he did. But it's better not to dwell too much on that at the cost of those other things.
오.
On the subject of steeds, I think we'll have to ride like the Knights Templar.
How's that?
2 up. One day I'll tell you how they got their seal. You can take the front.
아니, 나도 그냥 타고 가고 싶은데. 내가 뒤에 타고 싶은데. 아,
It's like I
아니구나.
always imagined it would be, teaching my boy to ride. Although it would be better if you were a little smaller. My word, it's all go today, isn't it? I wonder who this is.
뭐 또 뭐 와?
I know. It's Margrave Jobst.
The king's cousin? I wonder what he wants. I guess we'll find out soon enough.
설마 이제 챕터 1이 끝나고 챕터 2가 시작한다든가? 뭐야? 아니야. 아, 엔딩이야 이게? 오, 다행이다. 네, 킹덤컴 오늘 엔딩을 봤네요. 다행이다. 아무튼 재밌었네요. 끄자. 뭐 똑같이 나온다? 아, 근데 이거 후속작이 나올 것 같은데 느낌이? DLC라던가?
You're doing well.
딱 2시간 만에 끝났네. 어이구 아버지.
Father.
파더.
Come now. You know whose side you.
근데 만약에 낳아준 사람이 있고 키워준 사람이 따로 있잖아. 그러면 저는 키워준 사람한테 아버지라 부를 것 같아. 낳아준 사람보다. 키워주는 게 진짜 아빠지.
I miss you very much.
You'll be fine.
낳아준 건 아무 의미가
Proud
없다고.
of you.
For what? I let you down. I lost the sword. I let that bastard get away.
Don't be so hard on yourself. There was nothing you could have done to save us.
꿈인가 보다.
And someone has to live and carry the torch. As for the sword, it's just a thing.
You didn't want me fighting. Now look at me.
근데 이게 실화였다며. 내가 알기론 그런데 이 게임이 실화를 바탕으로 뒀다면서요. 후속작 나올 것 같긴 한데 이게 엔딩이라면.
I have to leave you now.
Oh, please.
You know I can't stay.
Will I ever see you again?
God knows.
볼 순 있겠지? 죽으면. 엄마도 있네.
Make her proud.
엄마하고는 말 안 해? 아, 훈훈하게 끝나네요. 뭐야?
Don't go. No.
What on earth were you dreaming about? I couldn't wake you, and it's well past dawn. Sir Radzig wants you at the upper castle. The lords are in council.
야, 너 말이 짧다? 나 귀족인데?
I'll go straight away.
이 개새끼 말이 짧네? 씨발. 아무리 친구였다지만 나 이제 귀족인데?
What is it?
It's just
야, 말이 짧아.
I don't know how to address you anymore.
그래, 말이
All
짧아.
of a sudden, you're Sir Radzig's son, hobnobbing with lords and ladies.
야, 존대해라.
Here's me, as common as muck.
그래, 너 존나 평민이야. 존대야, 너.
Oh, give over, you
아,
idiot.
존대
I look like
받아야지.
a lord to you.
Not really.
아,
You're as much a lord as I am a nun, and I've never looked good in a habit.
Get out of here,
야.
or I'll have you clapped in the stocks.
존대 받을. 머리살 왜 또 바뀌었어? 야, 머리살 왜 또 찐따 됐냐, 이 새끼. 사적인 공간에 들어왔습니다. 한 번 맹세는 영원한 아직 안 끝났네요. 뭐지? 아, 에필로그야 이제. 어디로 가야 돼? 내가 여기 있죠? 여기서 올라가면 되는 건가? 갑시다. 에필로그 봐야지. 나오세요, 미친 청퍼민들아. 귀족이 나가신다. 갑시다. 퍽이나 좀 찍을까? 의미 있나요, 근데 이거? 천룡이지, 당연히. 이 건방진 평민 새끼들이 여기서 길을 막고 있어. 뒤지려고. 다 죽여버릴까 보다. 우리 아빠가 귀족인데. 아, 근데 좀 기분 째지겠다. 평민은 귀족 되면 갑자기.
Oh, Hal. Are you going to the meeting with Margaret?
그래, 얘가 이제 내 친구인 거 아니야, 친구.
What about Istvan?
하프여도 아니야. 엄마는 죽었으니까 이제 모른다고 사람들이.
Dad, you'd be the first one
엄마
to...
죽었잖아.
Have no fear.
아빠만 남았잖아요 지금. 엄마도 귀족이라면 되지.
You're right.
아무도 모를 거 아님?
Anyway, let's go and see what
아빠만 조용하면 아무도 모를 거 아님. 이게 하프인지 순혈인지 사람들이 모를 거 아니야. 그냥 귀족이라 하면.
My lords, Christ's blessings on you all.
And on you, Lord Capon.
And this is my son, Henry.
그래
I didn't
봐봐.
know you had a son, Sir Redzig.
It came as a bit of a surprise to young Henry, too.
This gentleman here is John II of Liechtenstein, a member of my council.
존.
I'm honored, gentlemen.
와 존나 평미처럼 생겼다 저
Join
새끼도.
us. Margrave Yobst was just about to tell us the reason for his visit. Your Grace.
I'm sure we're all agreed, Your Graces, that all this unrest must come to an end. This kingdom needs a king.
The question is, which king?
My cousin, Wenceslas IV, who is being held in captivity.
I have to confess, my lord, that your answer surprises me a little. If I'm correctly informed, until recently you sided with your other cousin, Sigismund.
That I cannot deny, and I have always stated my position plainly. But times have changed.
How have they changed, Your Grace?
Sir, there is one thing on which we undoubtedly concur, that King Wenceslas, unfortunately, did not inherit his father's gift for governing. Sadly, his failures have cost Bohemia, the nobles, and our whole Luxembourg family a great deal of money and effort.
How did the king let it go so far, damn it?
It's in his temperament. He cares only for wine, women, and the hunt. A king, in fact, who never wanted to be king.
Then why didn't he just let his brother have the crown?
Young sir, the crown weighs heavy when there are duties to be performed, but to surrender it means giving up great privileges too.
But he did surrender power to his brother. When things started getting out of hand, Wenceslas appealed to Sigismund for help in restoring order.
What, you're saying Wenceslas has invited him here?
This is starting to make my head spin.
Actually, it makes sense when you think about it. Sigismund wanted to re-establish the power of the whole House of Luxembourg. He thought if he helped Wenceslas win the imperial crown, in return his brother would help him become the king of the Romans, and leave the actual reign of Bohemia and the empire to him.
역사이양인가 봐.
Sigismund would govern, while Wenceslas could carry on doing what he was best at, enjoying the life of the imperial court.
Why wasn't Wenceslas crowned Holy Roman Emperor long ago? He was already elected king of the Romans. All he had to do was go and let the Pope put the damn imperial crown on his head.
Who knows? Maybe he'd prefer hunting and consorting with bathhouse wenches to spending time with the Pope.
Well, so would I must admit.
Sigismund's plan seemed sound enough, but it didn't quite work out, did it?
It worked for a while. He and his brother reached an agreement. Sigismund took over administration of the kingdom and began planning Wenceslas's journey to Rome for the imperial coronation. But then Wenceslas realized he would just be a puppet with a crown.
I must say, Margrave Jobst, Wenceslas and Prokop behave rather like naughty children in need of a good clout about the ears.
Sigismund would agree. He was already planning his rule of Bohemia, and all of a sudden, the rug was pulled from under him. I'd say he lost his patience and decided he'd drag Wenceslas to the coronation kicking and screaming if he had to. Just like a naughty child, as you say.
So he abducted him and your brother Prokop too, if I heard correctly.
Correct.
And you helped him do it, if I heard correctly.
Yes, your graces, it's true. I was there when Sigismund abducted Prokop. I thought everything could somehow be settled, that we could make my brother see sense. But Sigismund just wanted to put an end to the dispute once and for all, whatever the cost. There was nothing I could do to stop him. And that's one of the reasons why I'm here. The worst of it is that it was all for nothing. Instead of putting a stop to the revolt, it escalated it, and the result is this chaos we have today.
That's true enough, sir. But I must admit now, I'm not sure what your position is. The king is incompetent, but we must protect him?
The simple truth, gentlemen, is that for all of Wenceslas's faults, we have no one else.
So we'll have to make do with his idleness.
People like him, though.
But what can we do now? Sigismund has the League of Lords behind him. Otto von Berghof, Heinrich von Rosenberg.
The situation has gotten completely out of control. Now even the nobles of the League of Lords are realizing that Sigismund wasn't the right choice.
So now Berghof is on your side. Are we to assemble an army together with him and face Sigismund on the field of battle?
We're not in Hungary now. Such affairs may be settled elegantly, without unnecessary hostilities or expenses. I have negotiated an alliance with the Hungarian bishops, the Polish, and of course the Czech nobility, against Sigismund. Every day he is losing the ground under his feet, and that's why I need your help too.
약간 이게 후속작 떡밥인가?
What kind of help, though? Sigismund has a massive army, and Rosenberg, Berghof, and Prague are behind him. Do you have an army you could face him with?
But that's not what I mean at all. There's been a revolt against Sigismund.
아, 근데 이건 너무 말이 긴데.
Partly due to my efforts. And now he'll have to choose whether he wants to gain the Bohemian crown, which is a very risky enterprise, or hold on to the Hungarian one. He can't have both. And there's a tough struggle awaiting him in Hungary. I'm not sure he'll win, and Rosenberg and Berghof know it too. They're not stupid. If the Bohemian nobility stands together, they will turn.
We are men of little consequence, Margrave. Radzig here lost everything because of his alliance with Wenceslas. Sir Divish came within a hair of the same fate. Even Rattay is defenseless against Sigismund and the League of Lords.
What's more, Your Grace, King Wenceslas languishes in captivity in Vienna. He can't rule too well from there.
And what do you propose? To sit with your arms folded till the Bohemian lands are turned to ashes like Skalitz? We have to put a stop to this senseless war!
And do you know, sir, what the true position of the League of Lords is?
I'm not on the best of terms with them at this moment, so you'll have to ask them yourselves.
Yes. Why not? I'll go and visit Berghof at his castle and we'll see what he tells me.
You know, that's not such a bad idea, young sir.
True. Though a little risky.
I doubt Berghof would harm a blue-blooded envoy. And you can find out what he has to say about developments and what the League of Lords is planning. Then we'll decide what to do next.
I'll help you compose a letter to him.
I'd like Henry to come with me.
Why not? He's proven himself an able investigator, and he'll also be a good bodyguard if anything should happen.
And I'll send Sir John here to Kuttenberg to be my eyes and ears there. I believe both your reports will help us get a better grip on the situation.
When can you set out?
Just as soon as I've packed my things.
바로 가자.
Excellent. Margrave Jobst and I will draft the letter. Get ready, and we'll meet back here.
뭐 이게 근데 엔딩을 본 게 맞겠죠?
I expect it would be best to write it in your name.
가자. 아버지야 이야기해야 돼?
What exactly am I to write?
Father?
So, it looks like...
Yes.
I don't want to dampen your spirits, my boy, but watch out. These are evil times, and who knows what can...
Don't worry.
I know. You've shown you can fend for yourself, but do take... You'll be there to make sure nothing untoward happens to him. Keep your eyes peeled and your ears wide
베르고프.
What Berghof
배고프.
tells you is one thing. See,
이름이 왜 졌다고야?
and don't get embroiled in anything else. Just hand over the letter, hear out his reply, and return.
편지를 전달하고 답을 들은 다음에 온다.
Very well. Berghof is at Trotsky Castle. I think you'll find it quite an eye-opener. It's one of the finest. It's 3 days' ride from here, so
말을
unless
타고
you
3일
get a
거리.
snag along the way.
다 들었습니다.
That's about all.
Very well. Take the letter.
Well, I'd also venture to suggest
편지.
one more. That is... I believe we have written it well, gentlemen.
Without a doubt. No one could deduce from this whether we are Sigismund's allies or foes.
I must travel back to Brno now, but soon I will go to Brandenburg and I will stop here on the way back. By then, Sir Capon should be back and we can discuss how to proceed.
Right. Before you leave, my lord, there is one thing that gives me no rest. Why did Sigismund come as a foe? It makes no sense.
If I may, sir, I think I can explain.
Oh, please enlighten us, young sir.
I live not far from Hungary, where Sigismund reigns. It is a savage country, and the constant war with the Turks has hardened the people. They need a monarch with an iron hand. So when Sigismund felt the wind of revolt, he reacted as he would at home. Only what works on the Hungarian nobles does not work here in Bohemia.
Bringing order is one thing, but slaughtering and pillaging with a horde of barbarians quite another. What purpose does that serve?
But Sigismund did give the Bohemian nobles a chance to take his side. It was only when they refused his ultimatum that he lost patience and took to the sword.
As for the barbarians, he could afford nothing better. The Hungarian nobility would gain nothing from joining his campaign in Bohemia. He didn't have enough coin for a regular army, and so he recruited the Cumans. What he does not pay them, they make up for in plunder.
But in the end, he didn't have enough to even satisfy the Cumans. That's why he raided Kuttenberg and Skalitz. He wanted the silver.
That makes sense.
My lords, how's the letter coming along?
It's done.
Then we can be on our way.
Now remember what we said, boy. All you have to do is deliver the letter, listen to the answer, and come back here. Don't provoke Berghoff in any way.
Provoke? Me? Never, Uncle. We'll be back in
불안한데?
Farewell, your graces.
존나 도발할 것
Come,
같은데.
Henry, my men are waiting.
I wish you Godspeed.
존나 도발할 것 같은데? 아, 근데 왜 이거 게임이 안 끝나? 오. 오, 지도 밖으로 나가면 게임이 끝나나 보다. 끝냅시다.
My men are mustered in the courtyard. We can get going.
가자. 얘가 열고 가나? 고맙다.
에이.
여기서 이제 이걸 타고 가면 되겠네요. 완전히 끝냅시다 게임을. 아, 빨리 와. 얘 따라가면 끝나나 보네. 어휴, 뭐트. 얘 처음에는 아이고 그 더러운 물을 참. 아예 깨끗한 거 놔두고 왜 더러운 걸 먹는 거야 자꾸. 가자 얼른. 아, 말 걸면 되는 거야. 가자.
So, can we set off now?
출발하자.
Of course.
So, to horse. The Lord of Berghoff is bound to be waiting us eagerly.
오케이, 갑시다. 출발. 이 새끼 또 천천히 갈라나? 또 애매한 속도로 가네 이 새끼. 빨리 가자.
So, how is life as a high-born bastard?
I'm getting used to it.
What about Rudzig? Has he accounted for not owning up to you the whole time?
He explained it. All will be well, I think.
Glad to hear it. It's far more acceptable for a nobleman to befriend a noble bastard than a blacksmith's son.
Mind you, don't come to blows with a blacksmith, my young lord.
친구 됐네 이제 진짜.
What do you think about Sir Jobst and his plan?
Well, I admit all the scheming has me a little lost. I thought Sigismund was the devil, Wenceslas a martyr, those on his side the heroes, and those against him the villains. I believed we'd rescue the king and all would be well again, but now it looks a lot more complicated.
Exactly. I didn't expect the noble lords to be as noble as the angels, but I hadn't expected such a sewer.
They behave like children. I can't fathom how after all this backstabbing they're somehow still on speaking terms.
I don't know either. Beggars belief.
와, 드디어 이 아름다운 게임도 마지막이구나.
Did you know that King Wenceslas is such a
Feckless drunkard? Not really. And to be honest, I'm not sure I wanted to know. I slept better believing my fate was watched over by a wise and powerful monarch.
So did I.
What a dismal world when you can't keep trust in your own king.
On the other hand, times were better with him here than with him gone.
Isn't that the truth?
이거 후속작 나오겠다 이거 딱 각을 보니까 조만간.
What do you think of Sigismund?
If I were him, I'd have had enough of my brother even sooner.
But he's a monster. Look at what those hordes of his are getting up to here. What he did in Skalitz.
True enough.
아, 부하들 뒤에 따라오고 있네.
If Wenceslas and Prokop hadn't double-crossed him, none of this would have happened.
No one forced him to burn Skalitz.
That's a fact. But he couldn't let them shit all over him either. Not that I'm defending him.
He's a weasel.
No doubt about that.
아, 근데 한 번쯤 이런 데 살아보고 싶긴 하다. 중세 시대에서 귀족으로. 딱 이런 중세 시대 귀족국으로 살아보고 싶긴 하다. 평민 말고 귀족으로. 돈도 많아야 돼. 용 줘야 되고. 한번 살아보고 싶긴 하네요.
To occupy a city that was on the side of the League of Lords, but despite there being several hundred strong, they didn't take it. For one thing, they couldn't get past the Iglau women with their pitchforks and cauldrons of hot water.
I would never have thought of Sahanush as such a rebel.
끝났나 이제?
And have you heard anything about Rupert of the Palatinate?
A little. He can't manage even to wrest power from a king who doesn't much care for ruling and isn't fighting back. That doesn't seem like a man who has what it takes to rule. And that's all I need to know.
뭐 어디까지 가? 그만 가도 되지 않아?
Do you know anything about him?
I haven't heard much good about him, but I have a feeling that some other nobles are quite in awe of him. And his castle is apparently quite impressive. I'll be interested to see for myself.
아, 네, 게임 진짜 잘 만들긴 했어요, 이 게임이.
Wealthy, pompous. The king doesn't seem to like them much. He's chosen to let the lesser ranks of the nobility into his circle, men like your father. I admit I don't blame him one bit. But the lords weren't happy about their lost influence, so they put their foot down. If I were Wenceslas, I'd have let them hang after they abducted me the first time. But he gave them seats at the provincial council. Little wonder they're back in their old tricks.
저기서 뭐하지? 저기서 뭐하지? 잠깐만. 야. 아, 바느질하는구나.
야.
아, 여기 말 죽었던 그 말이네. 또 말이 서 있네, 근데. 뭐지? 어디까지 가야 돼, 이거? 니들 보이지도 않아, 근데. 얘 부하들 보이지도 않아. 와, 물 비치는 것 봐. 어디까지 가는 거지? 말도 안 해, 이제? 말도 안 하고 어디까지 가는 거야, 얘네들? 아, 여기까지 가면 끝나나 보다. 맵 끝까지 가면 끝나나 봐. 이런 결말도 나쁘진 않네요, 근데. 평화롭게. 마지막으로 게임을 즐길 수 있는 시간도 주고. 딱 자연스럽게 후속작 각도 나오고. 왜 복수를 못했기 때문에 후속작 각이 그럼 바로 쓰는 거죠. 근데 좀 스토리가 완결됐으면 좋았을 텐데. 여기야? 저기 뭐가 천막이 있다 또. 뭔데 이건? 오. 내리나 이제? 케이폰과 이야기하시오. 야.
God bless you.
뭐야, 절 구해주셨습니까? 뭐야 이건 또? 절 구해주셨습니다.
You might not believe it, but I'm glad you joined our nighttime escapade.
Of course you are. If it weren't for me, there'd be no one to save you.
You're probably right.
Don't worry, we'll get
갑자기?
the bastard yet.
I'm in your debt.
Indeed. We'll talk about that over a...
Oh.
Good luck then.
뭐 다시 대화 걸어야 돼? 아닌데? 아, 저기까지 가서 태워야 돼? 뭐 옛날에 했던 이야기가 이제 나오네요. 아, 이게 내 거 상자네? 성조제검 이건 뭐야? 나 이런 거 얻은 적이 없는데? 나 이런 아이템을 얻은 적이 없는데 뭐지? 이 성조제검, 아, 훔치기네요? 내게 아닌가봐. 훔치기가 된다? 성조제검. 이것도 내가 낀 것보다 좋나? 뭐지? 뭐야, 왜... 아... 내 상자가 맞긴 했나봐. 근데 이거 왜 2배 더 비싸? 아, 데미지가... 찌르는 데미지가 존나 올라가네 이거? 이게 더 좋다. 방어구도 봐보자. 이게 더 좋네? 이제 말하면 되나? 오, 송조지의 검. 좀 어감이 이상하긴 한데.
How about it, Henry? Can we go? Are you ready for the...
물론이지.
Of course. At last I'll get to see.
Quite.
하드코어 헨리 도전 과제 달성. 오케이.
Let's get to it then. I finally have the feeling we're doing something
하드코어
worthwhile.
헨리 도전 과제
We're
달성.
helping to save the king.
Instead of saving his drunken majesty, I'd rather find that whoreson who murdered my parents, get the sword back from him, and skewer him with it.
Cheer up, Henry. I have a feeling you'll get your chance one day, and it won't be long in coming.
하드코어 난이도.
Audentes fortuna juvat.
가자. 진짜 엔딩이네요. 끝. 물음표? 물음표? 나오나? 안 나오나? 너무 긴데? 끝. 뭐야, 왜? 뭐 안 나와? 이 키를 눌러 넘기기. 네, 킹덤컴 엔딩을 봤네요. 오늘 킹덤컴 여기까지 하겠습니다. 끝!